Good morning, everybody, and welcome to AM Buffalo. We're glad we have you here on this Friday morning. But we start this morning show with sad news. As you may have heard, developer Mark Croce and another Buffalo businessman, Michael Capriato of Orchard Park, were both killed last night in a helicopter accident in Pennsylvania. Now, they were headed back from Washington, D.C. to Buffalo. Croce was piloting the helicopter and Capriato was the passenger. 7 News anchor Ed Drance joins us this morning with more. Good morning. And this is so sad because how many times have we spoken to Mark with all his business dealings downtown, and he was always so generous with his time to talk about these new properties.
And to say that the community is shocked and sad is almost cliche at this point, but that's exactly the reaction that we're getting this morning from so many people who are responding on our social media pages, Facebook and Twitter, and of course out in the community with our reporters who are out there trying to gather some reaction. You know, this is one of those things that happened randomly. We don't know why it happened, and the NTSB and the FAA are still investigating this morning. It happened about 9:15 last night just outside of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. As you mentioned, Croce was piloting this helicopter that has 5 seats on board. It was just certified as airworthy by the FAA last January, so it was really in the air for less than a year. In some digging to try and drum up some more information, we learned that this was a recently certified airworthy helicopter, as I just mentioned. It was also one of those helicopters that was brand new. It wasn't necessarily an older helicopter and actually went through some shorter flights within the last week. It was to the Genesee Valley Airport and back to the Buffalo Niagara International Airport, and they were in the air for at most an hour. There's no record, though, of the flight between D.C. and Buffalo, so we're trying to figure out what exactly happened here that might have caused Croce to crash. Again, just an awful day. I mean, he's done so much for our community. You
know, whether it was the Curtis Hotel or developing Statler City and bringing that back to its grandeur, certainly the Chop House, these are now fixtures here in Buffalo, and he was so much a part of that Buffalo resurgence. He was a visionary, I think.
Well, and the thing right now is what happens to all of these buildings. So obviously we know that there was millions of dollars pumped into the Curtis Hotel, millions of dollars being pumped into the Statler. As we speak, the facade of the Statler is being fixed up and renovated because there was so much that needed to be done. You know, you drive down Delaware Avenue and you see the broken windows, you see the clay facade kind of fading and falling a little bit. So his legacy will live on within Western New York. It's just a matter and a question of who will take that legacy on.
Do we know how long he was a pilot? I did not know he was a helicopter pilot.
He was an experienced pilot, to say the least. He was also part of the Reserve Air Unit for the Erie County Sheriff's Office. The Erie County Sheriff's Office tweeting their condolences this morning, along with Mayor Byron Brown and legislator Joe Lorigo and Erie County Executive Mark Poloncarz. He's touched so many facets of Western New York's life. You know, when you think of Mark Croce, you think of this prominent developer, but he had that personal life, a young son who you know, will now have to live without a father, a wife who will have to live without a husband. It's one of those things that just really tugs at your heartstrings, considering how important he is all around the area.
And we're sure that Mr. Capriato had a family as well in Western New York who are grieving with us this morning, his family. I don't know too much about him, but you know, I mean, it's obviously another businessman. And like I say, he's got a loving family out there who is hearing this for the first time again this morning. By
all accounts, he was a well-loved man. And our anchor Ashley Rowe actually spoke with one of his friends who said he had a heart of gold and was really involved in the Orchard Park community. So by all means, these two people, these two fixtures of Western New York community are gone and no longer with us. And again, many questions about what exactly happened leading to this helicopter to crash and what they were actually doing in Washington, D.C. while they were en route to Buffalo.
Good question. And of course, we'll have more coming up on news, right? As soon as we learn more.
We've got you covered on our WKBW app, our Facebook and Twitter, and of course, Ed Riley and Eileen Buckley are working for 7 Eyewitness News at noon.
All right, Ed. Nice to have you on AM Buffalo.
Nice to see you, Linda.
All right.